Alright, that should be recording now. What's good, guys? It is Monday, start of the new week, and that means one thing only: first chest side delt session of the week. I'm training a little bit earlier than usual. I mean, it's still kind of late, like it's 1 p.m, but early for me, that is. And it's because I got a pretty stacked afternoon. When I get home and shower, I've got a couple of sign-ons today, so I've got to go through the setup calls for them, and get them on board. Looking forward to that. Aside from that, just some usual kind of, I suppose you could say, admin work that comes with running your own coaching business. But yeah, chest and side delts on the menu first. Get that out of the way, because if I try to leave it till later in the day, I'm going to be absolutely mentally drained by the time I finish work today, and there's no way in hell I'm going to have a productive training session. So yeah, figured I'd do it now rather than coming here at 9 p.m. at night and further messing up my sleep schedule. So yeah, got my water. I'm just going to not fill it up, I'm going to put a little bit of EAAs in there. It's room temperature today though, it's not cold. And although I do like cold water, it makes the EAAs taste better. It just makes the water more appealing when you're training. Like, to be completely fair, drinking room temperature water, especially when you're trying to stay hydrated, is probably a smarter move. A lot of people don't know this or realize this, but your body actually has to heat whatever fluids you drink up to your core body temperature before it can actually adequately absorb it and use it to hydrate the body. So I mean, you're just making your body do more work if you drink ice cold water anyway. So your body has to kind of, I suppose, thermoregulate that water and bring it up to match your body's temperature before it can actually even use it effectively. So, I mean, by drinking room temperature water, hypothetically, you're going to hydrate yourself a little bit more efficiently, a little bit quicker than you otherwise would with cool water. So even though it's not going to be as enjoyable to drink, it's going to be more practical. So, but yeah, not really much to talk about today. But I figured I'd touch a little bit on what I kind of mentioned in the last video, which was yesterday, and I suppose touch on how I'm lacking a bit of motivation stuff at the moment. Another thing, or another factor that plays into the reason why that's the case, is I'm in a maintenance block currently. So whenever you finish a course, you come down to physiologic levels of your supplementation. You do have a bit of a dip or a drop in dopamine and a few other crucial, I guess you could say, hormones in the body that do dictate how you feel. And as a result, you're not going to feel as motivated or driven or amped up as you were peak course or peak push-up phase. And on top of that too, because I'm in limbo at the moment, like I have to extend my maintenance block because my ingrown hair, the health situation, there's no point pushing things if I've got a health complication at the moment, even if it's something minor and benign like that, because it needs to be taken care of before you start putting your body under stress again. So the fact that I'm not, I suppose, pursuing growth and pushing for growth with my food, supplementation and training, like training's kind of dialed back a little bit in terms of volume, nutrition's dialed back, because I'm not really pursuing growth, and I'm also not pursuing fat loss. It's a little bit, feels like a bit of a lull, like I'm kind of just wasting my time, even though I'm not. Like, these maintenance phases are just as necessary as deficits, or as necessary as like a push-up massing phase. And it's something that you really need to keep in mind. It's something that I need to remind myself of constantly, because I'm one of those people where if I'm not pushing to move forward, I feel like I'm going backwards. And so right now it's a bit of a mental fuck, or like a head fuck, because I feel like I'm just wasting my time, even though that's not the case, and I know better than that. And it kind of brings me back to the point that I kind of made yesterday, where it's like your feelings will lie. Just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean that's necessarily the case. And that's what I mean by that. Like, just because I feel like I'm in limbo at the moment, and this isn't an essential phase or anything of that sort, and even though it's making me feel a bit down and in the dumps and depressed, I need to remind myself of the reason why I feel that way. and that it is normal, it's to be expected with a transition to a phase like this, and that, yeah, this is just as necessary as a dieting phase or a gaining phase. And yeah, it sucks that it has to be stretched out a little bit longer, because all things considering, all my health markers, like blood work wise, scans, perfectly fine. So there's no reason why I should be in this phase, which is what frustrates me more, aside from the fact that I've got that ingrown hair and it probably needs to be cut out this week. So that, and then also the potential for maybe some other sort of complication, which I'll obviously either identify or rule out with an ultrasound or like a scan of my legs this week. But yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. But it's part of the game. You just got to accept the fact that you're not going to enjoy every minute of it. Actually, in fact, it's very rare that you're going to enjoy every minute of it. I don't think I know a single person that enjoys every minute of the process. There's good periods and there's boring, not so good periods. But time to get in there, hit some chest. I'll see you in there. Hey, pec deck fly. See what I did last week. So actually I haven't warmed up on this yet. I'll do a warm-up set and then I'll dive into the first working set, but I got 3 working sets of 12 to 15, same weight as last week, which was 190 pound, but I'll do like a warm-up with 150 pound just to get some blood flow in the area, get a good kind of contraction happening, and yeah, just prime and potentiate the body for what is to come. I don't think, like a lot of people overdo their warm-ups. You don't have to do the same number of reps as your working sets on your warm-up sets. You also don't have to do like 4 working sets. Just do like 1 to 2 working, 1 to 2. You don't have to do 4 warm-up sets, is what I was trying to say. Just do 1 to 2 warm-up sets and then dive into it. Like, if you can't warm your body up with 2 warm-up sets, then you're either executing them wrong or you're just completely, I don't know, you're just weird. You're just very weird. Just say that. Time to do the first working set. So last week, got 13, 12, 12. Probably could have gone 15, but 14 still a step ahead from last week and leaves a little bit in the tank for the remaining 2 sets. I don't want to gas myself before I get to the last set. you're doing more than 2 working sets, never go to failure on the first set. It's just something I've learned through experience. If you're only doing like 1 to 2 working sets, then yeah, sure. If you're doing like 3 or even 4, don't go to failure on the first one, because the second last and the last sets will suffer. They will be shit. Guaranteed. See if we can do it again for one last go. Because after this, it's onto the converging chest press, the hammer strength one, where I'm like supine laying down. Alright, hopefully you can see me fine. The exposure's a little bit messed up from the light coming in the window behind me. But 3 sets of converging chest press, doing 6 to 10 reps. I got 3 sets of 10 with this weight last week, but I don't know how to feel today. Not doing any warm-ups because I'm still pretty warm from the flies, so. Push up the most recently injured side first. I did 60 kilo last week for, I assume it's 60 kilo, it could be 60 pounds, I'm not sure. 60 on the machine, whatever the free motion is measured in. It's plate number 11, weight 60, and I did 10 reps last week, so I'll aim for 11 to 12. Seeing as I'm going into this a little bit fresher than I did last week, having not done dips prior, I should be able to hit some sort of a PB. Different handles too, fat grip handles today, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference. Wow, that cannot be right. That feels incredibly light. I'll go 120. Even though it says I did 60 last week, I must have done more. So it would appear that I missed my window of opportunity to seize the machine dip. It's like a 30-second window between the two guys comparing dildos, getting off the machine, and then another guy getting on. So I think I might just do a bonus set of these and then dive into dips, because hopefully he'll be done by then. This guy's actually training, so it shouldn't take as long. Given that the machine dip's taken and the guy on there is taking forever, I figured I'd just do the decline press instead. It's not really the same thing from like a movement standpoint, but at the end of the day it's just chest volume on a different variant. So yeah, 2 of these and that'll be on to side delts and time to head home. Haven't really had a full rest period, but I've wasted enough time waiting for that dip machine before. I can't believe I waited so long, to be honest. I was probably sitting there for a good 7 minutes while they just screwed around and took forever doing their sets. But like, you know, the guys that do sets where they're like 6 reps in reserve, like they're not even getting anywhere close to effective reps, so they might as well just not even go to the gym and train. It was kind of like that. And not saying that to judge or anything, like, I mean, to each their own. I respect anybody that goes to the gym to better themselves, but I mean, if you're gonna sit on a piece of equipment that long, at least use it correctly. At least train moderately intense. Last time I did this session, I got 17 reps per set, so see if we can go 18 with 130 pound. Three more. Four more. Two more. So I've already done my first set of these, although I figured I'd just quickly touch on something pretty important when it comes to calf raises, in particular calf presses and standing calf raises. Now I've already done my first working set of the 2 working sets that I have today, but I wanted to touch on something important to consider when doing any kind of straight knee or extended knee calf raise variant, whether it's a standing machine calf raise, standing dumbbell calf raise, Smith machine calf raise, or horizontal calf press like I've got here. The benefit of the actual calf raise variant when it is like this is the extended or the locked out knee. So if you have your knee bent while you're performing this, you're not really maximizing the benefit or the advantage that this has over a seated calf raise, for example. Because the calf acts, depending on which head you're looking at, the calf acts both over the knee joint and the ankle joint. So in order to fully stretch the entirety of the calf out, you want to have your knee in extension or your knee locked out. The soleus doesn't matter as much, but the gastroc, in order to stimulate the gastroc as much as possible, you want to have the knee extended as much as possible while you perform plantar flexion and plantar while you perform the calf raise. Okay, so I've already done my first set, although I figured I'd just record the second set. I've only got 2 of these anyway, because I'm doing them every single day. But calf raises, in particular, any kind of straight leg variant, you really want to make sure that you're locking the knee out or getting as close to your lock of the knee out to get the full advantage of it. If you're doing a seated calf raise, you're going to target more of the soleus by default due to the nature and the mechanics of the actual movement. But when you're doing a horizontal calf press like I am, or a standing calf raise of some sort, you really want to focus on locking the knee out or keeping it as straight as possible. That'll allow you to stretch that gastroc head of the calf out a lot more effectively, and overall get more growth at the end of the day.